Welcome to yet another video, but before I even begin, I would like to give a quick shout out to Solabla Studios, which is a clothing brand created by one of my really good friends. I'm actually wearing one of the designs that he actually made, and this clothing is actually tapestry. All of his designs are all about anime because he is actually into anime, and if you're interested, I will have the links in the description. So in this video, I will be talking about a topic that I think is open-ended, a topic that definitely has caused a division among fashion consumers coming from different walks of life. And I can definitely say by the title of this video that it may have caused a stir already to some people, but hey, I am not one to criticize anyone, as I myself am into forbidden fashion to say the least, and I can practically say that in some of my videos I am definitely advocating for it. But as someone who has a platform and makes fashion content on a regular basis, I feel that it is my responsibility, and I am adamant that I address these things for awareness for everyone, myself included, to constantly remind ourselves to make conscious decisions and be mindful of our consumption when it comes to fashion. Just know that this topic is too broad to say the least, and I am just one among many addressing my opinions and ideas about the matter, which may or may not coincide with other people's views, and that is totally okay. So let's have a healthy and respectful conversation. So what the heck even is forbidden fashion, you may ask? Well, there really is no such thing as forbidden fashion, as anyone is free to make whatever choices to choose whatever kind of fashion they please. I am using forbidden fashion as a metaphor for how we buy and choose our clothing. To better understand this metaphor, let's talk about what fast and sustainable fashions are and why fast fashion is deemed to be the bad fashion, or so I call it forbidden fashion, and sustainable fashion as the good fashion. Fast fashion refers to the quick and cheap production of trendy clothing to meet the demand for new styles at an affordable price. This often leads to the exploitation of workers and the environment, as well as a disregard for the longevity and quality of the clothing. Fast fashion has been criticized for a number of reasons and is considered by many to have a negative impact on both people and environment. Here are a few reasons why fast fashion is considered to be bad. Fast fashion contributes to environmental degradation in a number of ways, including water pollution, air pollution, and land pollution. The production of synthetic textiles such as polyester releases microplastics into the environment, which can harm wildlife and pollute waterways. Many fast fashion brands are produced in sweatshops where workers are paid very low wages, work long hours in dangerous conditions, and often face exploitation and abuse. This is particularly true in developing countries where labor laws are often weak and enforcement is lacking. And if you look at the tag of the clothes that came from brands considered to be fast fashion, most of them will say China or any other country in Southeast Asia. Fast fashion is characterized by frequent production cycles and low-cost disposable clothing. This leads to an enormous amount of waste, as clothing is frequently discarded after only a few wears. This not only creates a huge burden on landfills, but also contributes to the depletion of natural resources such as water and energy that are needed to produce the clothing. Fast fashion items are often made with cheap, low-quality materials that are designed to fall apart after only a few wear. This not only creates waste, but also contributes to the cycle of consumerism, as people are constantly buying new clothes to replace the ones that have fallen apart. Some of the brands that are considered to be fast fashion are H&M, Zara, Forever 21, Shein, ASOS, Fashion Nova, Urban Planet, and Urban Outfitters. So while we can enjoy the cheaper price tag from the offerings of the said brands, we are also contributing to the exploitation of people such as child laborers who are paid very low wages working under non-optimal working conditions. Not to mention, the demand for subpar clothing just keeps on increasing since the pieces are low quality, hence it will not last long. Therefore, it leads one person to dispose of the bad clothing and get a new replacement from the same fast fashion brand. And this becomes an endless cycle of buying and dumping clothes that leads to greater carbon footprint and waste. And this buy and dump scheme is what these fast fashion brands capitalize on to rake in huge amounts of profit. And to say that capitalism is the biggest driver for fast fashion is such an understatement. Overall, fast fashion has significant negative impacts on both people and the environment. While it may be tempting to purchase cheap, trendy clothing, it is important to consider the true cost of these purchases and the impact that they have on our world. On the other hand, sustainable fashion is all about creating clothing in a way that is environmentally friendly and socially responsible. It means using natural and renewable materials, ensuring fair labor practices, and minimizing waste. To put it simply, sustainable fashion is basically the opposite of fast fashion in every aspect in terms of quality, environmental practices, waste, human labor, and pricing. Sustainable fashion is often more expensive than fast fashion for several reasons. Here are a few reasons why sustainable fashion can come with a higher price tag. Sustainable fashion is often made from eco-friendly and high-quality materials, which can be more expensive to produce. In addition, sustainable fashion brands can prioritize fair labor practices, which can also add to the cost of production. Unlike fast fashion brands, sustainable fashion brands typically produce limited runs of each item. This not only reduces waste but also ensures that each piece is unique and of high quality. However, the smaller production runs can also result in higher prices due to economies of scale. Sustainable fashion brands often have strict ethical standards for their supply chain practices, including fair wages, safe working conditions, and environmentally responsible production methods. These standards can increase the cost of production, which is reflected in the higher prices of sustainable fashion items. Sustainable fashion is a growing trend, and many consumers are willing to pay a premium for products that align with their value. This means that sustainable fashion brands can command higher prices for their product, which reflects the value that consumers place on ethical and eco-friendly products. Some of the brands that are considered to be sustainable fashions are Patagonia, Levi's, KOTN, Stella McCartney, Noah, Nudie Jeans, and Story MFG. Overall, while sustainable fashion can be more expensive, it is important to remember that investing in sustainable fashion supports a more responsible and ethical fashion industry, which benefits us all in the long run. And while it's easy to say that a brand observes sustainable practices, it is still up to us consumers to really dig in and do our own research on a particular brand claiming to be sustainable if we really want to buy into sustainably made fashion. While sustainable fashion is great and all, not everyone has the means to afford the higher price tag that it comes with. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are so many ways we can support sustainable fashion and make positive impact to the world. And one of the favorite ways is thrifting or secondhand shopping. Yes, thrifted fashion can be considered sustainable fashion. Thrifting is the practice of buying used clothing from thrift stores, consignment shops, or online marketplaces like Grailed, eBay, or Depop. I personally buy pieces from my local thrift stores from time to time, and mostly from Grailed for brand-specific items such as Carhartt, North Face, and Patagonia. This is considered sustainable because it extends the life of existing clothing and reduces the demand for new clothing production, which has significant impact on the environment. Additionally, thrifting can also help reduce the amount of waste in landfills, since secondhand clothing that is not sold is often donated or recycled. While sustainable fashion is praised for being the opposite and is deemed to be better than fast fashion, we cannot turn a blind eye to the fact that, like fast fashion, sustainable fashion is also capitalizing on consumers by producing less items but with a much higher price tag instead of mass-producing low-quality clothes to make profit. The higher price tag may often drive people away from buying, leaving the pieces sitting on shelves, which will eventually get disposed of, adding to the overall waste. So despite using eco-friendly and renewable materials, there's no denying that sustainable fashion also does and will always produce waste, though it produces much less waste in comparison to fast fashion at scale. At the end of the day, it's all about making conscious choices as consumers. Every time we buy clothes, we're casting a vote for the kind of fashion industry we want to see in the world. By choosing sustainable fashion, we can support the growth of environmentally friendly and socially responsible practices and help build a better future for everyone. But this is a lot easier said than done. While we always try to be cognizant and conscious about our choices, we all look up to different fashion icons who influence and shape our decision making all the time. And more often than not, our fashion icons are the face of these unsustainable brands, leading us to the wrong path, and as a result, we buy into the forbidden fashion. Also, while thrifting is considered to be great for sustainability, what happens when we find fast fashion brands in thrift stores? Wouldn't that make thrifting unsustainable anymore? Honestly, I do not know either. Let me know what you guys think about that. So there you guys have it. I am keen to know what your thoughts are on this matter. There's really no right or wrong answer. Are you pro or against forbidden fashion? I am not one to judge, as I am guilty of supporting forbidden fashion as we speak, but I am trying to be better by the day. Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, smash the like button to help the channel and a brother out. And I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, and until next time, stay safe, stay fitted, peace.